Vedanta talks about the pursuit of happiness being the primary motivation in life. What is meant by happiness?
So everything that we do is for a sense of satisfaction, subjective well-being, happiness, whatever word you want to call it. We're constantly pursuing happiness. But it's important that we don't misrepresent or misunderstand what we mean by happiness. Right? Happiness doesn't mean the absence of certain types of mental state. In the earlier verses, he says, a spiritually evolved person does go through joy and sorrow, but doesn't let his intellectual poise be disturbed by that. So happiness doesn't mean the absence of this class of mental states and only the presence of this class of mental states. Happiness is not a particular type of emotional fluctuation that we experience. Happiness is an enduring sense of stability or equanimity through these fluctuating mental states. So, sort of an analogy to this. You're outside having a nice meal or having a nice drink, and a bee comes along and stings you on the arm. There's a physical sensation of pain. Associated with that physical sensation of pain is what? Like, how do you react? Yeah, you suffer. That's one thing. Then you can imagine you know, there's a blood drive at my local school. Down I go. So I sit in the chair and then they put my arm. They take a needle and jam it in there. What does it feel like? Yeah, kind of like a bee sting. So you have the same sort of physical sensation, same degree of pain, but what's the psychology? Even at the time, equanimity. You're relating to it in a completely different way. The physical sensation of pain is still there. But you can't say by any stretch of the imagination that you're suffering, that you're disturbed by it, because of the way that you're relating to it. All right, so that's an analogy. The same thing happens at the emotional level. The emotions go through sorrow. Now, on the one hand, we react negatively to our sorrow, and the sorrow causes us to suffer. On the other hand, we may go through sorrow, but this time when we go through it, the equanimity has not been disturbed. So we can relate to our sorrow in a way which does cause us disturbance and suffering. We can relate to our sorrow in a way which does not, in which we are equanimous. This is what we're talking about when we say that we're seeking a sense of happiness. We're not just seeking a particular physical, emotional, or intellectual state. We're seeking a sense of equanimity or mental peace from that state. That's the mistake that we make. Simple example that we often bring up. The moment you get a pay rise, you've decided, I need more money, you go for your pay rise, you get it, what happens? The moment the boss says yes, you're happy. There's a feeling that comes with it that is, to you what we would call happy. Now, the pay rise stays the same. The extra money you get is the same every day thereafter, but the degree of satisfaction gradually diminishes over time. So this is what's happening, is that we're looking for satisfaction through a material change or a physical change. I need to lose 50 pounds, or an emotional change. I need to gain a marriage, or an intellectual change. I need to become smart, or whatever it is. We get that change. There's a sense of satisfaction that comes with it, but the satisfaction decays away. So that satisfaction is the thing that we're looking for through all of our pursuits and all of our experiences. We try to get it through the world, and the world can provide it temporarily for a very short period of time, but it does not stay. So what Krishna has been talking about in these previous verses is this state of mental equanimity, which does not arise from external changes. It doesn't arise because there's been a material, physical, emotional, intellectual, or moral change in the personality. It arises because of knowledge, because we have removed the causes of the dissatisfaction.